First goal of the year goes for the Raiders.
Oh, beautiful shot there. Nicely done. Gets the pin. Oh, was that beautiful?
Onside kick, and it's recovered by Hastings.
And he's rung up for strike 3.
Touchdown Raiders.
And we want to welcome those of you joining us again on Hastings Community TV and SCC TV. We are at Todd Field and McNamara Stadium here in Hastings, Minnesota for some girls soccer action as the Mahtomedi Zephyrs come to town to take on the Hastings Raiders. Mahtomedi with a record of 8-2, Hastings with a record of 3-4. Mahtomedi wearing the white uniforms. You see them there on your TV screen. Hastings will be in blue. They are introducing the starters for tonight's game. We just revealed those on the radio, but it is a very good lineup for the Raiders tonight. All 4 grade levels are represented in the starting lineup, including a freshman. We have, I believe, 3 sophomores, a couple of juniors, and then a few seniors as well in the starting lineup for the Raiders tonight. Jalen Hansen, Erica Endress, Sienna Sanchez, Keegan McVicker, Ellie Magnus, Bree Balster, Mara Jackson, Alex Moore, Caitlin Wood, Olivia Erickson, and then Riley Mansell in net for the Raiders. As Coach Paul Armstrong and the Raiders, you see them there getting ready for this one tonight. And Trey Lauer with you from KDWA Radio. As we take a look, this is a big one tonight because you look at the Metro East standings, these are the 2 teams that are undefeated. Mahtomedi 3-0 in Metro East play. Hastings 2-0 in Metro East play. Nobody else undefeated. So this one is a massive, massive contest. And Trey Lauer, like I said, from KDWA Radio here with you alongside Pete Heyman. And a big one, massive matchup here.
Yeah, Trey, you mentioned they're both undefeated. Probably, I would even say bigger for Hastings because they're playing at home. So you really want to win at your home pitch if you can, especially later in the conference, later in the season. You want to make sure you have that game up on your opponent.
If you weren't with us, there were 10 goals scored in the boys' game, with Mahtomedi winning 6-4 over the Hastings Raiders. Jed Carlson had a brace for Hastings. You also had a goal from Johan Rova Hegner, and I believe the 4th goal for the Raiders was scored in that contest by Brody Geib. So a really good contest for the boys. They came up a bit short here, but what does this girls team need to do? You mentioned it a little bit there, but to pull off a big win here and go to the top of the Metro East.
I'm going to mention the same thing I did before. Try to get the first goal of the game, get out early, attack, good passing, play composed. I know you're at home, you might be a little energetic. You mentioned they got the freshmen, so sometimes that can be good because they're young and they're just kind of having fun, being joyful.
Yeah, and that freshman is Sienna Sanchez. We've actually profiled her on KDWA. She was a part of Minnesota Thunder Academy's national team and actually got to participate in an event in Chula Vista, California this summer. So I believe, I may be corrected on this, but I believe she was named MVP of that game. So a really talented freshman in Sienna Sanchez. You've also, of course, Keegan McVicker had a hat trick in a game this year. She's a junior. We've also seen Ellie Magnus has that speed on defense. Jalen Hansen, obviously, in the midfield. So a lot, and this entire team, a lot of great names on this roster, and a lot of returners from last year's team as well. This is an experienced team.
Yeah, experience will go a long ways, especially to counteract that freshman. Even though she's a freshman, she actually has some good experience, like you said, doing that travel tournament outside of the state, outside of the city, that she can bring that back to her teammates here and with her other seniors that have been around here too, and they know this pitch well.
Yeah, so the Raiders take the field here, and right at dusk, we're not going to have very many sunsets past 7 o'clock much longer. Those 8:30 sunsets don't exist even more right now for about another year or so, but we're at dusk. The lights are on here at Todd Field. There's Riley Mansell heading off to the net for the Raiders as Hastings in blue, Mahtomedi in white.
Yeah, Trey, the sun was a problem, or could have been a problem in the boys' game, but it is gone now. Raiders did take the same east side, just like the boys did. So we'll see if it's a different result, though.
Yep, and here we go. Mahtomedi in possession early as it's a battle of the top 2 in the Metro East here on KDWA, HCTV, and SCC TV. And right away on the near side, Lauren Coy has it for Mahtomedi. And now Caitlin Moltzen has it over there on the near side. Fighting with it is Coy. Mahtomedi controlling the possession early and then knocked away by Bree Balster, the midfielder for the Raiders.
Just want to say a little shout out to the, this time we have the ball girls going to be getting the balls for us in this game. So little boys in the first game, now it's the girls in the second.
And there is a little bit of a hit there as Mansell chases after this.
Trey, not sure you can notice the ball, but it kind of looks like it's a dark silver color.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to see possibly. It's not that classic white that sticks out.
I wonder if they did that because it's going to be dark out and, you know, the light will shine off of it so they can see it a little better.
Right.
Mansell. This one headed forward by a Raider. And Hastings, there's number 36. That's Olivia Erickson on defense. There's Sienna Sanchez, number 7, fighting for the ball with Mahtomedi's number 10, Ainsley Olschmid. And there's going to be a foul the other way.
Yeah, head referee didn't call it at first, and then the coach for Mahtomedi kind of made a complaint, and then the referee made the call. So not sure if he was swayed a little bit there. And it looks like the referee in tonight's match was the line judge of the boys' match. The referee for the boys, he switched to the line. So they do a little rotation, referees. And I do want to give a shout out to referees and officials because without them there would be no match.
Yeah, we got one over here to our left. PA announcer Rick Hardy giving us a thumbs up.
Yep.
So hashtag thank a ref if you follow John Millay on Twitter.
And one of the guys wearing a headset also is an official referee umpire.
Okay,
too, so
all right.
I know what it's like to be on both ends and the player.
Well, Balster has it here as Hastings right now just kind of feel out Mahtomedi right now. Zephyrs have kind of controlled the possession here early. And Hastings just trying to, like I said, feel them out in these first 2.5 minutes or so.
Seems like this match with the girls, it's a little more almost like watching the World Cup. There's smart passing, not as much craziness. They're keeping control of the ball, a little better possession. Also could be feeling each other out. This is when you feel out the defense, the attackers, not sure when they can make a run.
And so
speaking of a run, there's a run down the middle. Mansell cuts out and makes a great save.
Yeah, great job there by Riley Mansell, and now Sienna Sanchez has it for the Raiders as they finally can try to get their offense going here. Was looking for Jalen Hansen, who had a beat down the sideline, but it was a bit too much on the ball. And Mahtomedi's goalkeeper Jackie Warden, will have it for the Zephyrs. 36:50 remaining. Back toward the near side, Lauren Coy. And Olivia Thiel with it there for the Zephyrs. And now number 19, Caitlin Maltzen, gets past the defense. Maltzen in on Mansell. Maltzen bodied off the ball by Alex Moore. And Mahtomedi with a chance in front. Save made by Mansell. Great save by Mansell. Olivia Erickson was also down there. And the Raiders thwart off an early dangerous chance from the Zephyrs.
Yeah, Trey, good job of Erickson to get it out, but I wish he would kick it to the side instead of the back, giving him a corner kick. But there's a shot to the field goal, wide left. It'll be a goal kick for the Raiders.
Yep, goal kick coming here, so Riley Mansell will take that. And again, the boys lost 6-4. JV also lost 5-2. So we will see if the Raider girls can send these fans home happy tonight. Jalen Hansen on the near side, can't quite get a handle on it. And now Mahtomedi's number 19, Caitlin Maltzen again, had it for the Zephyrs. Now number 5, Lauren Coy is there. This one fired in on net and goes a bit wide. And I believe we will have a throw-in coming here from Mahtomedi, and it will be Lauren Coy, the midfielder.
Yep, it's actually going to be a corner kick.
Yep.
Good job by the Raider defender to head it out because there was a player behind her that could have had a chance to head it in. There's that short kick again.
Coy has it. Coy, that one deflected off of Sanchez and will go out of bounds. You could hear that one from up here.
Yeah, she's rubbing it too, but you like to see that out of one of your leaders.
Hansen,
not afraid.
Bringing it up the field now on the near side. Jalen Hansen looking for Sanchez at the midfield. Sanchez chases after it some more here for the Raiders. And now Keegan McVicker chases down the ball as Mahtomedi's number 20, Allison McCleary, has it on the near side. Mahtomedi. Mara Jackson down there now for Hastings. And able to clear this one back out. This one's going to roll out of play, as we've not yet played 6 minutes.
And I think Hastings only has had the ball on the opponent's side one time. This will be the second now.
Yeah, Mahtomedi really controlling the possession in this game, as we've just about hit the 6-minute mark of this game and go into the 7th minute. With Mahtomedi only one shot so far in the game, and it belongs to the Zephyrs. There's Kyla Ock with it. And now Savannah Stockness for Mahtomedi.
Looks like Raiders are in a 3-4-3 defense.
Yeah, that's 3 forwards, 4 mids, 3 defensemen. As Mansell comes out of the net to play it. And now Keegan McVicker, who we mentioned has had a hat trick this year, gets it over to Sienna Sanchez. Now Sanchez trying to get there and not able to turn the corner. She goes down in the box. The ball is loose. McVicker goes for a slide. And it's going to go out of bounds.
That's great work there by the midfield center forward for the Raiders, getting it to Sanchez. You can see her using her speed, causing all kind of torment down there to Mahtomedi. Keeper. No shots on goal, but
yeah, looked like that was a good chance for the Raiders for sure, though. As now Mahtomedi retreats back into their end.
Good steal there by the Raiders.
Yeah, that was number 36, Olivia Erickson, who was fighting for it. Now with it from Mahtomedi is Ainsley Olschmidt, number 10. She comes back towards the near side. Now cuts back towards the middle and fires that one deep and out of play. 32:30 left.
This guy? No. This guy. This guy?
In this first half, again, they will play 2 40-minute halves. They will have stoppages for penalties and goals, but no stoppage time. They count down, unlike the major leagues.
Good work over there on the forward for the Raiders. Unfortunately, a teammate not there to accept that pass.
Chasing after it now for the Raiders, there is Olivia Erickson. Erickson sees this one roll past everybody and go out of bounds. That was Jalen Hansen on the near side.
Trey, that's a good ball. That's where you want to put it. Cross to the corner, and if your opponent gets there, you get a cross. And sometimes you even try to cross it. That's when you see the defender put their leg out, goes out of bounds, and you have a corner kick. So well played there, well coached.
Yes, indeed. We got some subs coming on for Mahtomedi here. I see number 6 for Mahtomedi. That's Allie Rippentrop, who is, excuse me, number 8, I should say. Faith Pepper, who's just come into the game. As Bree Balster chases this down for the Raiders. Balster fired it back to Sienna Sanchez. Sanchez finding a lane to get it to Hansen on the near side. Hansen looking for Sanchez again. Nobody home. Now Mahtomedi loses the handle. Balster is there for the Raiders. Here's Bree Balster back towards the middle of the field. Back to McVicker. McVicker trying to turn the corner. She takes a spill, gets right back up. Still in possession of the ball. Now McVicker back to Hansen. And rolls out of bounds.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that. If she's not on the gymnastics team, she's
on the basketball team,
well,
and she conference player of the year actually in basketball. So Keegan McVicker, quite the athlete as we know here in Hastings, and able to keep possession despite tumbling into the box.
Trey, that was a great tumble. Unfortunately, I think because she tumbled so well, the referee it might have been a penalty if she kind of fell over like a normal, person.
Here's the Raiders at the midfield with Alex Moore. Moore back to Mara Jackson, excuse me. And Alex Moore retreats back to Mansell. And now looking for, is that McVicker? No, I believe that was Erica Endress out there. As we've just crossed over 10 minutes into the game.
Love the three-person play, though, the Raiders. You practice that in practice. You have a triangle, pass, 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 and then attack.
Sanchez weaves through traffic. Here's a shot that'll go through the football field goal posts and over near the main gate here at Todd Field.
Trey, much better here in this last 5 minutes for the Raiders.
Yeah.
The first 5 was all Mahtomedi. Now you can see the Raiders getting composed.
Yeah. Like I
passing the
said,
ball.
it kind of felt like Hastings was just kind of feeling them out, seeing what Mahtomedi was giving them, and then adjusting on the fly. As Riley Mansell tries to clear this one, but it's headed back towards the Hastings end by the Zephyrs. That was Erica Endress, the nearest one to it there for the Raiders. And now Mahtomedi's got a chance. Down goes Mansell, but a couple Raiders will get back to it. They can't clear it, and Mansell heads back to the net as Mahtomedi fires this in, and Mansell gets underneath it to make the save, and the Raiders thwart another dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, Riley might have got away with one there. They could have called a penalty. It would have been outside the box, but it would have been a free kick.
By the way, your team captains are Jalen Hanson, Keegan McVicker, Abby Palava, and Riley Mansell are your team captains for the Raiders this season. And one of those captains, Jalen Hanson, is the closest one to the ball. And if you're looking on your TV screen, and we'll describe it to those on the radio, there is kind of an armband that the captains are wearing to identify it. It's pink and white. And that is the captain's armband that they are wearing this evening on the Raiders. McVicker in front, chasing after it for the Raiders there was Ellie Magnus. Another multi-sport athlete for Hastings. A lot of those on the soccer team as well. On the boys' soccer team, I should say.
It's quite common in high school,
Oh, yeah.
isn't it?
Absolutely is, for sure. Going to have a break here for Bree Balster to tie her shoe. And also a sub coming on. Looks like Lily Bezdacek coming on to replace Olivia Erickson. And so 27 and a half minutes to play in this first half. Bree Balster for the throw-in for the Raiders. Looking for Sanchez, who kind of dipsy-doodle and gets it back to McVicker. Now here is Bezdacek, and we're going to have a foul right as Bezdacek looked to get it to Sienna Sanchez. So a free kick coming here for Hastings.
Trey, it's good they got the free kick there, but a lot of times you'll see a ref kind of give the play on because she had the breakaway, and if they don't do something right away, then he'll bring it back to that free kick. Kind of wish he would have let that go because the freshman had the run, and that could have been a goal chance.
So Bree Balster will do the free kick for the Raiders. She waits for everybody to be into position here. And Balster, this one right in off of a head of a Zephyr. Hanson chasing after it, Balster chasing after it. And there for Mahtomedi is their number 8, Faith Pepper. And now with it is Claire Faulkner at the midfield. Faulkner. And, Ellie Magnus outruns her and gets to the ball for the Raiders. With it out there now, Ainsley Olschmidt. And a fight for it along the far sideline. Running after it is Wood for the Raiders. She'll let it go out of bounds. So Caitlin Wood is one of those sophomores, as is Olivia Erickson. We mentioned Sienna Sanchez, the freshman. The only freshman other than the other goalkeeper, Grace Knoll, on the roster. McVicker is a junior. Magnus is a sophomore. And then you've got the senior leaders, Hanson, Balster, Jackson, Mansell. Interesting dynamic with this team to have every grade level represented on the roster. You don't see that a lot in high school sports.
No, you don't, but that's actually good for the next 3-4 years. You can keep having a few at the top, few in the middle, and keep bringing the lower class. Keeps for a good, solid team consistently.
Here goes Mahtomedi with a 2-on-4. And Mansell was out of position, came out to play it, and Mahtomedi puts it in the back of the net and takes a 1-0 lead. And it looks like that was number, we'll see on the replay here who that was. It looked like number 17 had it first. Is that number 6, Allie Rippentrop? Yes, it is. Allie Rippentrop, number 6, scores the goal for Mahtomedi. And the Zephyrs take a 1-0 lead. And you look at the replay again, Mansell came out to play it, and Rippentrop just sent it right past.
Yeah, Mansell, she'd been coming out playing a lot of the balls there this time. That one got by her.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go too far.
And here she comes again, but this time she's underneath it. So Mahtomedi draws first blood here, 1-0, with just about 24 3/4 minutes to play in this opening half.
Kind of a golden rule for keepers, Trey. If you're going to come out of the box, you better be able to hit the ball, not let the opponent hit it before you.
Rolls back to Mansell again, right at the end line, or the goal line of the end zone, I should say, in football. Raiders will be back here in football in 2 weeks for homecoming against Cretin-Durham Hall on the 29th. They're in Bloomington Jefferson on Thursday. Here goes Hastings, and kind of ridden off the ball there was Lily Bezdacek. And Mahtomedi has it again. Here's Sophia Peer, number 17. And back towards the middle of the field. That's where Bezdacek has it. She's got it over to Erica Endress, who runs over towards Jalen Hansen on the near side. Under 24 minutes to go now in half number 1. Mahtomedi leading 1-0 over Hastings.
7, that's one heck of a golden goal.
Yeah, we'll pretend I didn't say that as this rolls out of bounds. I was thinking of football. Yeah,
I got you. You're forgiven.
And a mass exodus of Zephyrs here. A lot of Mahtomedi subs. Looks like Hastings is also subbing in a fresh face. Trying to catch that number of who went over there to the bench for Hastings. Looks like it may have been Erica Endress. Ellie Magnus, number 18. Here's Bezdacek trying to get to the ball for Hastings on the far hash. And now with it for the Zephyrs. Mahtomedi has kind of taken the possession back right into the breadbasket. Mansell makes the catch.
Perfect positioning there for Mansell and not too far out of her goal to get chipped over the top.
Yeah, another look on the TV side, and just an opportunity there for Mahtomedi, but Mansell was ready for it. And there is Lily Bezdacek near midfield. Just scoots past Jalen Hansen and goes out of bounds. 22-25 left in this first half. Mahtomedi leads 1-0 on a goal from Allie Rippentrop, the sophomore forward, just a few minutes ago. Here's Ingrid Linke for Mahtomedi. And now back out to Lauren Coy towards the middle of the field where the Raiders are going to fight for possession. And that's where Caitlin Wood has it. And now Autumn Burt, who's checked in. She was the one who subbed in for Hastings. Gets it back over to Mara Jackson. Jackson looking for Burt on the far side near the boundary, and it rolls out of bounds. Clock continues to run, 21:40 to go in this first half. Raiders have not got a shot on goal so far.
Ooh,
and that one nearly goes in the back of the net, but Mansell may have gotten a piece of it to keep it out. What'd you see there?
Saw a piece of her left hand, and then it rolled across the top of the bar. If we get a chance for a replay here, we'll see it. But
yeah, and another one trickles back to Mansell and just goes wide. Here's a replay of what we just witnessed. Caught me off guard.
So if you watch the ball, you can see it roll right off the top of the bar there.
So Mansell with a goal kick.
Trey, you mentioned no shots on goal yet for Hastings. They have to look for Keegan McVicker. She's got 3 goals for the team so far.
Yeah, I think they all came in the last game. She had a hat trick. I believe it was the Apple Valley game, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was last Saturday.
Speaking of McVicker, there she is defending.
Yeah, they're trying. It's almost like there's a game plan right now to keep the ball away from certain playmakers for the Raiders.
Yeah, I
haven't called her name a lot. Haven't called Jalen Hansen's name a lot so far.
Sanchez and McVicker, if I was the Bill Belichick on the other team, I would definitely keep it.
Well, and we kind of saw that in the boys' game, too. I mean, you think about Jed Carlson had a brace, but, Mahtomedi the boys were keeping the ball away. A lot of the Raiders' offense was being fed through Seabass Strauss in the middle in that boys' game as well. So we're seeing something similar from the Zephyrs here, trying to keep the ball away from the playmakers.
Right, we didn't hear Xavier Beal that much at all in that game. And he touched the ball a lot against Stillwater. But anyways, back to the girls.
Yep, Peer and now Presley Albers out there as well. Now McVicker's got it. Fires it back toward the near side to Abby Palava, one of those captains. McVicker takes a spill, almost kept possession again. Autumn Burt chases after it as we are now halfway through this opening half.
It was a nice give and go there. Unfortunately, the defender intercepted it.
Coy had it and then lost it. Here's Palava back to Hansen on the near side. Hansen can't quite find Burt. And now Mahtomedi, number 15, Kyla Ock, had it there momentarily. And if you are listening and we are mispronouncing any names and you're watching on the stream, feel free to put it in the chat and make sure we get that corrected. We want to make sure we pronounce everybody's name correctly. So as Autumn Burt fights for it, back out to Lauren Coy. And I believe, obviously, our producer would tell us if somebody has chimed in on that. Here's Caitlin Wood with it for the Raiders there momentarily. And now Bree Balster has it on the near side. Balster dumps it back off. Spins through, traffic there, does Alex Moore. Now McVicker at the midfield. McVicker looking for Hansen, not quite going to get there. And Mahtomedi back in possession. Now Palava to Hansen, and here go the Raiders. They've got numbers the other way. Here's Jalen Hansen. Hansen knocked over. And
it'll be a throw-in for the Raiders.
It'll be a throw-in, yep.
Little shoulder there, not enough to warrant a card or a free kick.
So you can see on the TV side the captain wristband there we were talking about moments ago. And throw-in coming for Bree Balster here for the Raiders. Balster gets it into Hansen. And now Mahtomedi. Here's the goal scorer, Rippentrop. Bringing it back up the field, and now Olivia Thiel, one-on-one, being chased down by a Raider, and it's sent wide by Olivia Thiel there.
That was a good thing that she went for the kick there, Trey, because number 2, Ingrid Lanke, was bolting down the middle with no defender on her. If she looks across, that could have been an easy shot on goal there.
Feels like this first half is flying by. There's already 17 minutes and change to go here. As Jalen Hansen on the near side for Hastings.
See if a give and
gets
go
it back
here.
to Autumn Burt on the give and go, but Mahtomedi was ready for it. Now Burt, we've got a whistle.
Give and go there. They got to kick. Got to go down farther behind the opponent. Let your teammate run to it.
So 17 minutes and change, and the official coming over now to talk to
looks like the camera person.
Camera person or the student section. There's a small student section mostly made up of basketball players that are here. I think I also saw a baseball player down there as well.
Maybe the ref was letting them know no hands.
Basketball might be girls soccer's team, reciprocation team. As Hansen with a great feed looking for Burt.
It's a little to the inside, but the run was what you want to see there. Make that run to the outside like we talked about in the boys' game, then get across and get a chance.
Yeah, there are the boys that are cheering him on here tonight. Saw several people I recognize from Hastings Athletics down there. Good to see them out here supporting the soccer teams tonight. There's Lauren Coy from Mahtomedi. And good defense here by the Raiders. And now Bezdacek brings it back up towards the near side. Bezdacek just outstretched from Jalen Hansen. And Mahtomedi bringing in practically half of their new roster, and Hastings is going to reciprocate. No, they're not either. They send them back.
That's a false alarm. They were going to bring the punt team out. Coach said, no, stay back.
So Paul Armstrong not ready for this group to come in yet. Oh, now they are going to come in. So I see Sanchez, I see Erickson. Who else is that coming into the game here? We'll check on that for the Raiders.
You know, I will say I kind of like Mahtomedi's strategy there, so that way all the girls are playing with each other all the time. None of this, now this girl comes in and you're kind of timing is off and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's kind of smart.
Yeah, it is like hockey,
Kinda
like shift
hockey,
changes.
Exactly.
So we've got Sanchez and Erickson, as we mentioned. We've also got Endress back into the game. There was a fourth one. We'll catch the number there. Also into the game is Ellie Levine, number 24. That might be who we were just referring to. And they look for Levine. She chases after it, and it's going to go out of bounds. And now Levine and Mara Jackson in the same vicinity, fighting for the ball with Mahtomedi's number 19, Caitlin Maltzen. She spins free from a Raider, brings it right in on Mansell, who makes the save.
Mansell laid out there. Nice dive. If that gets by her, could be an easy pass into the net.
Yeah, Riley Mansell's been great so far for the Raiders. Had that one goal that I'm sure she's going to want back, but has stopped 4 out of 5 so far.
She has been busy, unlike her counterpart.
Yeah, Mahtomedi has not seen a shot on goal from the Raiders in this one just yet, as this one runs out of bounds. So we mentioned, kind of felt like Hastings was feeling out Mahtomedi a little bit, but now it kind of feels like more so that Mahtomedi just controlling the possession and trying to keep the ball away from those Raider playmakers that we mentioned.
Yeah, Trey, that's a good observation. Every time the Raiders get about midfield and they try to get that extra pass, Mahtomedi steals it, and then they just come back to our end. We're just that one pass away from getting it down there. One time Sanchez did get down there. That was the closest action the keeper got.
Mansell. This one headed forward, the wrong direction actually, by a Zephyr. McVicker will go after it for Hastings. She's got possession. McVicker able to break free from a Mahtomedi defender. Now coming back to it is Olschmied for the Zephyrs. Chasing after it along the sideline, but not able to get to it in time is Magnus for the Raiders. And now fighting for it, Sanchez and Olschmidt. Olschmidt squirts through a couple Raiders there, and now it's going to be 1-on-2 the other direction. Here's Bree Balster fighting out there on defense, along with Mahtomedi's number 19, Caitlin Maltzen, and oh, goodness gracious, that almost went in.
It's a good thing Ellie Magnus was there because that ball was laying there for the taking.
I believe that was Bree Balster that was also in the vicinity. Let's check this replay again. This Mahtomedi is going to thought this was a goal, but Riley Mansell with a great effort, and then Bree Balster gets it to finish it off and help out her goalkeeper rather.
Yeah, my apologies. That was Balster, not Magnus.
And Bree Balster knows a thing or two about tending the net. She was a goaltender for the girls hockey team a little bit last year.
I've been watching her tonight. She's been hustling all over, and she's very smart with the ball, too.
Here's Riley Mansell teeing it up for the Raiders from the N in Hastings. Raiders attacking from left to right on your radio dial. You're watching on television. You see them also attacking left to right. Fight for it here just inside the box. And now with it on the near side. And then Balster sends it out of play. Already down to 11:15 to go in this first half. And Mahtomedi in front 1-0 over Hastings. Couple Raiders, Sanchez and Hansen chase after it. Now Hansen is there with McVicker trailing. Can't quite get there, deflected off of Zephyr. Now Olschmidt. Olschmidt just sent high and wide.
I think one reason why this half is going so fast, Trey, is because there's less goals, so we have less stoppages.
Yeah, well, also the pace of play has really been frantic in this one. Which kind of goes along the lines of what you said there. As Jalen Hansen fighting for it between two Zephyrs. Mahtomedi has it back in the zone, knocked away by a Raider. That was number 28, Alex Moore. Olschmid. And then back over now, the Raiders back into possession, Jalen Hansen. Hansen with Balster next to her. Loses the handle. Sanchez is there. Here's Sienna Sanchez. Trying to find McVicker, who's on the right hash near the middle of the field. Sanchez trying to turn the corner and gets to the ball at the last moment, but Mahtomedi is back into possession. That was Faith Pepper who had it there momentarily. Now forwarded by Erickson.
You can just see with that speed that Sanchez has going down the field why she is as good as she is.
Mansell all the way out to the 35-yard line to play this one and sends that forward. Mansell's not afraid to come out and play the ball, that's for sure.
No, she's not. But if these Zephyrs know how to chip ever, they might get her on a deep one.
Here's Hansen. Hansen loses the handle. And now Balster is the closest Raider in the vicinity. As Mahtomedi has it again, that's Olivia Thiel. And now, fighting and weaving through traffic, McVicker ends up with the ball momentarily. That's going to be a foul.
Good hustle by the Raiders, though, attacking the ball, not afraid. Some of that could be a little out of frustration from not having very much possession.
Yeah, I imagine the discussion at halftime will center around trying to get as much possession as you can in that second half. As Mansell races out to play it again. For those watching at home, the gold markings on the field are the soccer markings. The black markings are lacrosse. And of course the rest of it related to football as Mansell again races out to play it. Todd Field also occasionally plays host to select other events. I know a few other events in town have tried to maybe use Todd Field for other functions.
I know back in the day I did the punt, pass, and kick here. I'm sure they probably still do it here.
And Mahtomedi back at the midfield now with it, racing back up the field. Balster knocks it away. Hastings has been very strong defensively here in this first half. That's Magnus over there on the far sideline. And it will go out of bounds. 7:40 remains here in half number one. Shots are 6-0. Mahtomedi. Score is 1-0. Mahtomedi. More subs. On for the Zephyrs. Jalen Hansen heads to the bench for the Raiders. And looks like Lila Mahoney will take her spot on the field.
Interesting, they only did a few subs, or not quite as many as before.
Balster in trouble.
She's going to get called for the
Gonna have
hold
a hold there, yep. As the clock approaches 7 minutes remaining in this opening half. Mahtomedi leading 1-0. Whistle here on as Mahtomedi had it down near the boundary. 6:45 now remaining. Here's Mansell. Looking on the near side over to Erica Endress. Endress versus Olschmid. And then just wide of McVicker. Can't quite connect with Sanchez.
There's another example, Trey. They're just so close to getting that attack, but that one last pass.
Savannah Stockness also there from Mahtomedi. And now the Zephyrs. Here's Moltzen.
Mansell might be caught out of position again.
Moltzen looking for work. Mansell with a big stop. Can they keep it out? They can. Bree Balster bails out Mansell again. It was a great save by Mansell. She probably kept it out, but, you know, better to be safe than sorry there if you're Bree Balster.
Like I mentioned earlier, though, she get a little out of position. They chip over the top, which they almost did.
I don't know what Rick Hardy was doing there. Oh, the ball was spinning. Okay, now this one's popped up. Mansell gets underneath it. She dives to keep the ball at the tee in Hastings and keep it out of the net. Shots now 8-0 Mahtomedi. This one came off a corner. It was headed up into the air by a Raider, and then Mansell was able to corral it. 5:25 to go in the half. McVicker trying to bring the ball forward. There's Endress now to Sanchez. Sienna Sanchez maneuvers through traffic, gets it to Lila Mahoney, who looks for the corner. And the first shot on goal for the Raiders goes to Lila Mahoney as the goaltender Jackie Warden underneath it.
That's what happens when you give it to your playmaker, Sanchez. Made something happen with it. Nice little cross. Pass shot was a little far away, but
Endress looking for Sanchez there. Shots now 8-1 in favor of the Zephyrs. Mansell comes way out to play it again. She'll clear it back into Mahtomedi's end. 4.5 and a few change to go in this opening half. As Hastings trying to fire it forward, there's Endress.
that was an example right there. The ball was given to her. She had time to control, and she just kicked it down. So Coach is probably going to talk about that at half.
Erickson.
Control the ball, look for a teammate or a spot to pass it to.
Pierre had it there momentarily from Mahtomedi. Now with it is Savannah Stockness, the senior defender. Claire Faulkner. And now Bree Balster. I think we have to give an early candidate to player of the game. It is Bree Balster. She has been a good story in this one so far for the Raiders. We've got a whistle, we've got a sub, right as Balster was getting ready to throw it in. Sanchez will come off. Autumn Burt will come on. And again, unlike some of the major leagues and professional soccer leagues, you get unlimited substitutions. Players can come back in and out of the game, unlike in those professional leagues where when you leave, you're done.
Yeah, Trey, you mentioned Balster being a midfielder. She's got to hustle to the forwards to help out there, then the defense. And she might have saved a couple goals with her hustle back to the net that she's so used to minding on the ice.
Balster racing back to it, right along the end line. They'll go for a throw-in. I think there may be some distraction from the truck backing up.
Possibly. She also might have looked, the ball was really close to the line. She might have looked at the line judge and made sure it was out of bounds.
And now chasing after it, Mahtomedi gets to it here in front. Right near Mansell, and Mansell will get right underneath it as an opportunity to head in a goal for Caitlin Maltzen, the forward, but Riley Mansell says no.
I think if we watch the replay, I think she tried to left shoulder it in.
Yes, indeed. Off the shoulder, not the head. And now Mansell calls for it at the 15-yard line on the near side. Over to McVicker. McVicker.
Good control of the ball. You can tell why she's a captain and a leader. Smart ball.
Sent back out now along the far sideline. And Ellie Magnus is there for Hastings. Now a throw-in for Mahtomedi the other way with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Raiders down 1-0 to Mahtomedi. There's Burt. And here goes Mahtomedi again towards the middle. There's Maltzen. Maltzen, big hit there. And this one fired in, and Mansell with another save. She has been busy but good for the Raiders so far.
That one took a little wicked bounce. It's not normal grass, so they take that little weird bounce off the turf there.
Yeah, most schools in these parts are turf fields now. I can only think of one that isn't.
And which one is that?
Just up the road. Keegan McVicker here has it for the Raiders. I'll tell you at halftime. Mahtomedi chasing after it here and knocked out a play by Alex Moore, number 28.
No, you're just wrong. I've been to that one in West St. Paul.
Mahtomedi back on the near side with it now. Number 5, Lauren Coy, sent out of bounds.
Just under a minute.
Yep, under a minute to go here in this first half. 1-0 Mahtomedi over Hastings. With 45 seconds to go. Raiders only one shot on goal to Mahtomedi's 10 in this one so far. So we'll see how they fix that here in half number 2. Make that 11 as another dart towards Riley Mansell is covered up. And we approach 20 seconds to go in this opening half. And again, you briefly saw the conference standings there as well. This game matters as the final 10 seconds of the first half wind off the clock here. And one last gasp from the Zephyrs. Not really. The clock will run out, the horn will sound, and that's the end of the opening half here at Todd Field and McNamara Stadium as the Mahtomedi Zephyrs lead the Hastings Raiders 1-0. We'll have the second half. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit more on KDWA radio as well. But here's the look at the Mahtomedi goal one more time. And yeah, Rippentrop just got into a lane and Mansell came out to play it. Rippentrop put it in the back of the net. And that's the only marker so far after one half of play. Mahtomedi 1, Hastings 0.
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business. So support HCTV today! Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilski, Chief of Police in Hastings, Minnesota. Fentanyl and other opioids are here in Hastings. Our police officers, EMTs, and firefighters respond to dozens of overdoses and poisonings every year. To date, for 2022, Hastings Police Department officers have responded to 45 reported overdoses in our community, and you can help. Call 911 if a friend or loved one is overdosing. Minnesota's Good Samaritan Law, also known as Steve's Law, provides limited protection to people who call 911 and or administer naloxone in response to a suspected or known drug overdose. You can report drug problems anonymously as well. Use our TIP 411 system to make a confidential report. Text the word Hastings and your tip to 847-411. For additional resources, contact United Way's 24/7 helpline by dialing 211 to find resources in and near Hastings. Remember, one pill can kill. Let's work together to stop opioid overdoses and poisonings in our community.
The Raiders started with a 3-4-4, 3 forwards, 4 mids, 4
We're back on the TV side as well. We were talking there on radio momentarily there. Go ahead and finish your point.
Yeah, I was just saying the Raiders started with a 3-4-4, so with only having 3 forwards, that could be the lack of ball possession down the other end. It'd be interesting to see if Coach Armstrong switches up to like a 4-3-4, get some more attackers out front.
Yeah, Hastings with 1 shot on goal in that first half, and they trail 1-0, which is the good part of this. Having allowed 11 first half shots. So we'll see how they fix up here, what they adjusted on at halftime as the Hastings Raiders very much in this game. Here's a look at KDWA's upcoming broadcasts for those watching on television. Thursday night we'll be in Bloomington for football at Jefferson. Friday night we'll have Prescott football at Amory. And then next Friday we will have 2 football games at the same exact time. On KDWA AM 1460 and FM 97.7. We'll have Hastings football against Cretin-Durham Hall, and on KDWA.com, we'll have Prescott football against Baldwin-Woodville. So we're really excited to expand our sports coverage a little bit there. HCTV will have swim and dive on Thursday against North St. Paul, then next Thursday against Mahtomedi. Next Friday, they'll have homecoming football versus Cretin-Durham Hall, and then October 3rd, they will have soccer versus South St. Paul. That will be a doubleheader. KDWA will be there for that as well, so we're looking forward to that. Ready for half number 2. 40 minutes on the clock. And a 1-goal game very much within reach here for the Hastings Raiders to start this second frame. It's Bree Balster with the ball for Hastings. And now they'll switch sides. Mahtomedi will go left to right. Hastings will go right to left.
Trey, we mentioned in the boys game, first 5, last 5. We'll see if Hastings can just get something going here in the first 5. Maybe catch Mahtomedi sleeping, if you will, or not quite all there.
Clock is not running right now, so they will start that there, and we'll get going here. As in front, Mahtomedi has it, and again, they're back on their side now on the left side.
Luckily, it was only about 10 seconds maybe. So.
Yep, thereabouts.
Uh-oh.
Now Mahtomedi gets a break through the Hastings defense. Here they come in on Mansell and into the back of the net. Boy, Hastings had a look. They chased after it, and Mahtomedi has doubled the lead just like that here. 30 seconds into the second half. I don't know who's shooting off fireworks. Let's see who shot the goal here. Looks like number 0 for Mahtomedi. That's Olivia Thiel, the junior.
Trey, you see that very often in sports, too. One team almost scores on the other end, so you have a lot of attackers going at the net, and the other team goes on the break, and they got the breakaway. Our defender was just a millisecond behind from getting that ball from her, but unfortunately, she got it in the net.
I guess there's a new thing where whenever somebody scores, they launch fireworks off, but that's the wrong team if you're a Hastings fan to be shooting those fireworks off. They did that for football last week, too. Hastings scored a touchdown, and someone shot off fireworks in the background. Here's Mahtomedi, and Mansell will check and get to it. Just about a minute gone here in the second half. With Mahtomedi now in front 2-0. So the mountain gets a little bit steeper for Hastings here.
Yeah, it does, especially with only 1 shot on goal, almost a second. And again, we talked about first 5, last 5. First 5 minutes, a goal was scored.
And up the field on the far side now, Jalen Hansen has it. Mahtomedi, as we mentioned, has really focused on shutting Hansen, McVicker, Sanchez down tonight. And now the Zephyrs have it back the other way. With it, number 4, that's Brianna Elbers. She's got it for the Zephyrs. Elbers being guarded, I believe, by Alex Moore, the junior defender, I should say. With 2 minutes gone now, thereabouts, in this second half. And now the Raiders had a look, and Mahtomedi intervenes.
There was a chance right there. The pass was not wide enough, though, to her teammate. Easy interception by the Zephyrs.
Faulkner back over to Sophia Peer. Back to Ainsley Olschmidt. And Mahtomedi having to retreat back. Now their defenders go to work.
Trey, if there's any silver lining on the early goal, it was early. So now you still have 19 minutes or so, 18 and change to get a goal or two back.
Yes, indeed, and plenty, like you said, plenty of time.
This is where, as players, whatever the strategy was coming out, it's the same strategy still. You don't change anything up or get too desperate and give up a third goal.
And back and forth they went, by the way, in that boys game, if you didn't catch that. Every time Hastings would score and eat into the deficit, Mahtomedi would rally back.
Yeah, and we mentioned in the boys game, Mahtomedi, they got up 2, and we talked about that third goal. The next one is the most important one. You don't want to go down 3, and we're in that same situation here.
Here we go. Erica Endress had a look, and getting underneath the ball and stopping it is Jackie Warden, the keeper for Mahtomedi.
Defender Mahtomedi on the replay, you can see she did a good job of just staying in between the Hastings player and the ball there.
There's Moore again with it for the Raiders. Mahtomedi comes back toward the near side. Now with it, number 33 for the Raiders, Caitlin Wood. And now Mahtomedi back in possession. Throw incoming, Claire Faulkner. Trying to turn upfield for the Zephyrs. Caitlin Moulton. Intercepted by a Raider in the blue end zone. And just passed a Raider out of bounds.
The good thing there is she stopped it from crossing in front of the net, cleared it, got it out of bounds.
So just about 4 minutes gone now in this second half. Raiders are in need of 2 goals now. After a quick one to start the second half from Mahtomedi, maybe about 40 seconds in, because we were a little bit delayed on the clock. 35-42 remaining in the game. And obviously, my good bud Rick Hardy knows that I don't blame him for that clock mistake. It happens. As the clock continues to run here, 35-25.
Trey, if you're Hastings, you try to get it.
Sorry about that,
That's
Rick.
okay.
Tell me, Rick's joking around over here in the press box.
Got to have some fun and jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Life's too short.
Here's a shot deflected in off of a Zephyr. And Mansell able to make the save for Hastings, rather. Figure out if that counts as a shot on goal. Mick Vicker heads it back over to Hansen. Oh, excuse me, that's Endress, rather. And knocked up into the air. Mick Vicker fires it back out towards the Mahtomedi end. Zephyrs get back to it. And going to work, Worden fires it toward the near hash. Ulschmid had it there momentarily. 2-0, Mahtomedi. Just about 6 minutes gone here in this second half.
Trey, I was trying to say earlier, if you're Hastings, you want to try to get to your playmakers. That's McVicker and Sanchez. And here we go, maybe here with a little.
Yeah, McVicker had it there at the right hash. Brings it back towards Sienna Sanchez in the middle of the field. Sanchez trying to work her way through 4 Zephyrs. And then it's headed back to McVicker. McVicker trying to pass it back to Jalen Hansen on the far side. And Mahtomedi back into possession.
And we're going to have a handball here. Great eyes by the line judge here. The ball rolled up the Mahtomedi girl's foot right into her hand. He was all over it and got the handball call.
So that'll be a free kick for the Raiders. And we'll see where they give it to him here. 33 minutes and about 20 seconds to go here. Free kick goes right to Ulschmid, who brings it back up the field. She's tripped. Foul is called. And it will stay with the Zephyrs.
You can see on that last drive Raiders had, it was McVicker and Sanchez, our 2 playmakers, that were able to get some action going there. So sometimes you need a score. You got to feed your number ones.
7 minutes into the second half. Mansell races out to play it. Jackson was down there for the Raiders along with a Zephyr. And Riley Mansell with 10 stops so far tonight. Sanchez has a streaking Raider down the sideline. That's going to be Ellie Magnus. And Magnus trying to center it, as we would say in hockey. But nobody home for the Raiders.
Yeah, a little too close to the goalie, too. You want to get that one farther back if you can, but that's tough when you're running full speed like that, crossing. Sometimes
Now,
maybe even take a shot there.
Balster collides with Olschmidt there as she had the ball momentarily. Now Mahtomedi has it back. Zephyrs attacking the near side now. Magnus is there for the Raiders. Magnus, and now in possession for the Raiders. Here comes Caitlin Wood. Up the field to Magnus. Magnus weaves through a Zephyr. Cuts back up and now passes it to a Zephyr.
So those are the passes I'm talking about, Trey. Right to an opponent.
Oh, taken away here. Jalen Hansen to Sanchez. Sanchez back to Jalen Hansen, and now with it is Erica Endres. Endres looking to Hansen out of bounds.
They had the right idea
Yeah.
there. Pass it, get it to the outside for a cross. Just a little too hard. Right.
31:35 to go. Lots of time for the Hastings Raiders, but they need 2 goals.
They do need 2, but lately, the last few minutes, we've seen a little excitement, a little action in the end zone of the Mahtomedi goalkeeper. So
I'm sure Hastings would love to end this one with a win instead of a draw.
okay, here's some better passing for the Raiders, and there's Sanchez. She was held on to there. Yep, good call.
Sanchez is going to be a free kick here. You're right. I was looking down at my stat sheet.
It's okay. That's why there's 2 of us. Back
So
each other up. Or
Sienna,
3 of us.
Yeah, Sienna
Technically
Sanchez.
3 of us.
A little bit of the hold there. You saw it on the TV side. And it will be Bree Balster from the right hash to take the free kick. And Balster kicks it right back to a Raider, does Mahtomedi. It was Sanchez. She finds a lane to get it to Hansen. Now Palava with a shot that doesn't quite hit the net. And Mahtomedi will clear it back out. Now, there goes, is that Wood? No, that's Moore with it, rather, for the Raiders. And now Mahtomedi trying to bring it up across midfield. Loses the handle, and it goes out of bounds.
Probably not going to get a replay. Was kind of hoping Sanchez would have maybe taken a shot from right out there just inside the box.
Here goes Mahtomedi. They trying to get the corner. They cut back toward the middle, and it's taken away by a Raider. That's Moore with it. And now a shot that's going to go over the net and through the field goal posts at the football field. Or would that have been wide right in football?
I'm thinking wide right from my view, but
Well, we had an angle last week here. We thought there was a field goal that was good, that was not from this angle. So
tough to tell from up here, though.
I'm still upset with myself about that one. This one will roll out of bounds. 29:20 to go. And again, Mahtomedi with a 2-0 lead here over Hastings. Thank you for joining us wherever and however you're listening or watching.
Well, we are 10 minutes in, and at least we've doubled our shots on goal from the first half.
Yeah, that's true.
Just trying to think silver lining, positive here.
Yeah, Mahtomedi has played some really solid defense, and the Raiders still trying to solve it here. We're going to get a sub. Looks like Bezdacek on for McVicker.
And McVicker, looks like she was limping a little bit there, so hopefully she's okay.
I don't think she's come out of the game until now, so this is the first time they've taken her out. Fist bumps on her way back to the sideline as Hastings trying to, again, get this ball out of their end, but Mahtomedi has just been living over there. 28-25 left in the game. 2-0 Mahtomedi the score here. You're listening to Hastings Soccer, KDWA, HCTV, SCCTV. Balster trying to save it along the end line. It goes out of bounds. And it'll roll out of bounds off a Raider. That looked like Alex Moore.
I don't know if you saw that ball off her leg, like Rick said earlier, with that big spin. That thing just took a huge spin towards the end line.
12 minutes into this second half. 52 into the contest. Here's a chance in front. And it just bounces past Mansell out of play. Not a shot on goal because Mansell never had to touch it.
Mansell did a good job, though. Just made sure it wasn't going in net, let it go by so she could get the goal kick. No chance of a deflection into the net or for a corner kick.
Hastings still trying to get it out. Now back toward the near side. There is Lila Mahoney, who had the game's first shot on goal for the Raiders. She touches it now out to midfield to Bezdacek. Bezdacek back out to Mahoney on the near side. Mahoney to Olivia Erickson. Erickson to Bezdacek. Just past Bezdacek now. And now with it there was Moore. Here goes Mahtomedi. Back to the outside. Moore trying to fight. Palava out there as well. Now the goal scorer, Rippentrop, has it for the Zephyrs. Mahtomedi weaving through traffic. Trying to catch the number there. That's number 19. Caitlin Maltson, who had it briefly. Sanchez fighting for the ball. And now Mahtomedi back with it in possession. 26:35 to go. Palava back to Sanchez. Sanchez taken down, no call. And now we go the other way. Here's Moore. And now with it for Mahtomedi, that's number 13. That's Claire Faulkner. Faulkner looking for Rippentrop. Rippentrop, Mansell with a diving save. And Erickson back into it and lets it roll out of play. Possession arrow, if this was basketball, would point to the Raiders. You see Rippentrop weaving through traffic. Sanchez going to come out. Burt back in. As Wood will throw it in for Hastings here.
Yeah, head coach Armstrong might just be giving a couple of those players a little break. Like you said, they've been on the pitch the whole time. And they might want to rest them up, come back on for the second half of the second half when they need to get some goals.
Rely on this core to get you a goal. Here's a shot that just goes wide as we are under 25 and a half to play in this one. 2-0 Mahtomedi over Hastings. They've scored 2 goals on 12 shots. Raiders with 2 shots on goal so far. Really trying to get this offense going a little bit. Goal kick from Mansell makes it right to a Zephyr, and that is Maltson again. And now Oldschmidt goes down. Actually, that was Rippentrop, rather.
Ooh.
And are they going to call a PK here?
They sure are. Just inside the box, so it's going to be a penalty kick.
So, yeah, right, just inside, like you said, inside the box. Rippentrop went down by a Raider. And so Rippentrop will attempt the PK here for a chance for a brace and a 3-0 Mahtomedi lead if it goes in. But Mansell is ready. Let's see what Mansell can do here in the goal.
See if she goes low left.
Rippentrop just curves it in past Mansell. It's 3-0.
Not sure you noticed that. It was a left-footed kick there, too.
.24-21 to go.
Well, there's that third goal we talked about. Did not go the way of the blue and gold.
3-0 Mahtomedi over Hastings. And now the Raiders have their work cut out for them in these final 24 minutes. So we've got a stoppage here. Not exactly sure why.
I see, looks like the head referee's talking to the coach. Maybe they wanted to ask about that penalty kick.
Yeah, maybe wanted an explanation.
Yep.
.3-0 Mahtomedi. Coach Armstrong walking back to the bench after talking to the official. Back out towards the near side. Burt there for Hastings momentarily. Now Wood trying to get it back out towards number 36, Olivia Erickson. And out there for the Raiders, Ellie Levine into the game. She's got the ball from the far side toward the middle. Raiders cutting it back. Still trying to fight. Not a whole lot of room there. And Mahtomedi just continuing to control the possession in this game. Another shot on goal. Mansell with the save.
It's almost looking like the Raiders just don't want to go attack the ball. They do have their 2 best players out. Sometimes you have some younger people unsure to just have that tenacity to go get it.
There's Erickson with it. Palava fighting for the ball. Palava fighting for the ball still. 23 minutes to go. Mahtomedi leading this game 3-0.
Hastings going to need a total 180 reversal here. Ball possession, passing, a chance of luck down here just to get a goal. All they need is that little spark.
We got a whistle as the Raiders tried to get back to the ball there. 22 and a half to go. 3-0. Shots are 14-2 in favor of the Zephyrs. Riley Mansell is the keeper here for the Raiders, and she's got the goal kick.
Just looking at the body language of Hastings, doesn't look like quite what you want to see here. A little deflated.
This one's sent back. Jackson and Mansell are there. Mansell gets to it. And yeah, you're right. Hastings has got to get the possession in their favor. They've got to get some chances in the Mahtomedi end if they want to have a chance in this game. Palava has it at the midfield for Hastings. Looking for Hansen along the sideline. Overshoots a Raider. I think that's Ballster coming back to it. There is Erickson. Now Palava back toward the near side. Erickson with it again.
Ooh, a little shoulder there
Yeah.
from Mahtomedi.
Wood on the near side looking for Burt. Back to Jackson. Now back to Jackson again. Levine has it for the Raiders. Levine cutting back toward the middle. Looking for somewhere to go with it. And rolls over to a Zephyr. 21:08 to go here. Still a lot of time left. Palava has it. Palava back to the outside. Here's Wood on the near side. Wood to Erickson. Erickson to Palava. He'll go wide and go to Ellie Levine instead. Now Levine to Jalen Hansen. Hansen takes a spill. Palava has the ball for Hastings. Here's Bezdacek. Can't quite get there. And now Mara Jackson with it for the Raiders. Here's Levine again. Makes a Zephyr miss. Has it back to Jackson at midfield. And now Mahtomedi gets it back. But that's what you want to see from Hastings. You finally had a little bit of possession. Just couldn't get it down into the Mahtomedi end.
Trey, I was just going to say, much better there for the Raiders. Just keep the ball. Let them think about defense and think about where they're going and waste their energy.
Mara Jackson with the ball for Hastings. Raiders are turning up the wick a little bit here in terms of possession. Levine to Burt. Trying to get it back to midfield. Mahtomedi back into possession. Here's Rippentrop, who's got a brace already for the Zephyrs. Rippentrop in through traffic. Gets it to Ceci Emery there. Loses the handle, does a Zephyr. And now back into possession is Hastings. Here comes Caitlin Wood. That'll roll out of bounds. 19 and a half to go. And Mahtomedi in control. We got some subs coming on. Sanchez is into the game. Magnus is back into the game. McVicker back into the game. Bezdacek heads to the sideline along with Mahoney, and I believe Mara Jackson was the other. Nope, not Mara Jackson, excuse me. Ellie Levine, I believe, was the other.
Trey, that's what we talked about earlier, though. Giving your stars a little bit of a break, bring them all back in at the 20-minute mark, see if they can make something happen together.
And I'm also wrong on that one because Ellie Levine's still out there for the Raiders. But it was number 20-something that got taken out of the game. It might have been more. Yeah, it might have been. Autumn Burt has the ball. Racing back toward the near side with it is the Zephyrs. Jackson.
Mansell.
Rip and Trop and Mansell. Mansell races after it, knocks it out of bounds. 18.5 to go.
Smart play, but you got to get back to your goal quick because if the other team throws it in, it's a live ball. Unfortunately, they were subbing.
And looks like to do the throw in here is Ceci Emery from Mahtomedi. Emery has it for the Zephyrs. Shot on Mansell just goes wide of the net. Mansell then redirects it even more. Got a piece of it, but that's the 15th shot.
Trey, that was one of those, like in baseball, short hop right in front of you. It's hard to handle.
I think we count that as shot on goal. Looked like it
Oh, I'm sorry.
on the net
I
there.
didn't know that.
15 shots from Mahtomedi, 14, whichever way you want to look at it. Three 0. 17.5 left. And yeah, we're going to take that shot on goal off upon further review. Mahtomedi's got it back here. This one will be the 15th shot. As Mansell sees that roll in, she covers it up. And with 17 minutes to go, here's Autumn Burt at the midfield. Now with it from Mahtomedi is Ingrid Linke.
Trey, at this point, it'd be good for the Raiders just get a goal, maybe start a spark, but at least for their self-confidence here at home, conference game, undefeated, get a goal, get that, you know what I mean? So the next time they play.
Absolutely. 16:45 now remains. Mahtomedi cutting back toward the middle of the field with it. Here's Emery right into the hands of Riley Mansell on a save. Mansell quarterbacking as she fires this ball towards the midfield. Over to Olivia Erickson. Now Ellie Magnus heads it forward. Nobody there. McVicker chases after it for Hastings. Mahtomedi now retreating. Back to the keeper. And Worden fires it forward. Is that Sanchez, I believe, that touched it? No, that's Levine. Nat Sanchez racing after it. Sends it back to Mansell. And uh-oh, this one's going to go wide of the net. Mansell's going to get back to it. She's going to send it out of bounds. That was a pass. Mansell was out of place, and it just rolled back to her. Mansell gets back and knocks it out of bounds before Mahtomedi could threaten goal number 4.
You know, Trey, for a goalie, she might have more steps in this match than some of the other players. She's been all over the place.
Yeah, she really has played well in that net for the Raiders tonight. We got some subs coming in and out for the Zephyrs there. You see them on your screen. 15.5 to go. Throw in here from Mahtomedi. There's Maltza with it again. McVicker has it. Bringing it up the field. At the midfield, McVicker trying to ride off the defender. That's actually Magnus with it. Now Hansen sprints down, but Mahtomedi will fire this one back and out of bounds. As we go into the final 15 minutes of action here at Todd Field and McNamara Stadium. Mahtomedi leading Hastings 3-0. And getting back to it now, just a bit wide. Now it's Autumn Burt with it for the Raiders. Burt back to the outside, and it'll roll out of bounds.
Every time they try to get a pass up, it's like right to the opponent. The opponent just is anticipating that and steals it.
Ellie Levine throwing it in for Hastings here with 14:20 to go. Now it's Maltson again from Mahtomedi. Maltson moving in, and Mansell will get to it, make the stop for the Raiders with 14 minutes to go. And that one will roll out of bounds. So a throw-in coming from Mahtomedi. And now the Zephyrs have a lane. Maltson.
Sanchez with a great diving stop right there.
Excellent defensive effort by Sanchez to get back to Maltson there and knock the ball away from what looked like could have been a second goal for Maltson in this game.
Not only was it a great dive, it was in the penalty box too. A lot of times you see girls trip the other girl, get a penalty kick, but Sanchez good enough to just play the ball.
Here's Kayla Poirier. And Poirier, I'm probably pronouncing that one incorrectly, will get the goal or the corner kick here for the Zephyrs.
Almost like Sydney Poirier's.
Poitier, yeah. And that one goes behind the net. 13 minutes to go here.
Girls couldn't ask for a better night, though.
Yeah.
It's nice.
As I
Weather's
mentioned
perfect.
at the top of the boys broadcast, you know, it was kind of hot for the boys game, but I knew it'd feel pretty good here when the sun went down, and that sure is the case.
In a month or so, we probably won't be having these windows open.
Yeah, we will. We'll be having,
maybe even sooner than that.
We'll be having some precipitation probably more than likely. 71 degrees. Feels a little bit colder than that, to be honest with you. Still feels like summer out here.
Minnesota summer.
Yeah, I'll take it for as long as it'll stay. I'm totally fine with that. 12:15 to go here. Mahtomedi and Hastings battling it out. Raiders have it out near the sideline. Hansen to Magnus. Magnus will weave through traffic. Here goes Ellie Magnus trying to turn the corner, and it just gets sent wide.
We're going to get a corner kick, though, that went off the foot of the Zephyr. So going to have a chance here for Hastings. See what the kind of set play Coach Armstrong has lined up.
Yep. Corner coming here. It looks like Balster, who I remember from a year ago as well, was their corner kick expert. She'll take it here for the Raiders. And a good look. But it goes up and out.
That was a great opportunity, too, for the Raiders. The Raiders got the head on it.
Yeah, here's the replay. Balster, I believe that was number 36, Olivia Erickson, that had the look for the Raiders.
That might have been our best look of the night, honestly.
11:10 to go. Mahtomedi back towards the midfield. Fighting for the ball. And Wood will kick it out of bounds. Clock runs under 11 minutes. So it's do or die time for the Raiders. You need 3 goals to tie here. And like we said, crazier things have happened in sports. This one rolls into Mansell. 10:40 to play.
Yeah, Raiders going to have to turn the heat on a little bit here. And if you're talking about heat, the Minnesota summer, you could go to the temperature of where I just came from, Arizona. It's 94 degrees right now.
Yeah,
it is.
It's also an hour earlier.
I'll give you the hour.
Yeah. As we're back here towards the far sideline, Sienna Sanchez fighting for the ball for the Raiders. And is that McVicker with it over there or Magnus? That's Magnus who goes down.
Going to have a free kick here for the Raiders. The Raiders, though, they're taking a little bit of time. You got to cross it there before the person gets on you.
Oh, that was actually McVicker who was taken down. So we'll have the free kick here for Hastings. And again, 3-0 Mahtomedi. So the Raiders need a quick spurt here.
Goalkeeper Mansell almost all the way up to the half.
Yeah, Balster had a look, but Mahtomedi snuffed it out.
Yeah, that kick was much lower, not as good as the cross from the corner.
Yeah, and Mansell retreating now. Again, she's 30 to 35 yards out of the net. Sanchez in front.
Just a little too much dribbling. When you're there, defenders are on you right away. You got to either shoot right away or pass. You don't have time.
And this one is going to be out of bounds, so the throw-in coming here from Mahtomedi. Sanchez again fighting for the ball.
Good to see Sanchez all over the pitch, though.
Indeed. And with it now for Mahtomedi was number 23, who is not on our roster. And now with it, number 2, Ingrid Linke. 23 might be a backup jersey. We've seen that sometimes. Sanchez back to Jalen Hansen near the midfield. Hansen trying to get past the defender, brings it up the field, and then the ball gets taken away from her.
Mahtomedi just great at defense tonight. As soon as a Raider get the ball, they are on them like glue. And sometimes two people, like Eric said, especially with, or Rick said, especially with our key star players. They know that keep the ball off of their feet.
Well, we're approaching 8 minutes to go now. So Hastings in need of a miracle in this battle for first place in the Metro East Conference. Raiders will still be very much in the conversation, but they're going to need some help to have a say now.
Need a miracle, huh?
In the Metro East Conference championship standings.
We're down 3 goals. It's almost like we need 3 pins here towards the end to win.
I see what you did there.
I like that.
Sanchez,
I think
looking like she's going to come out of the game.
Yep. Earlier in the match, too, I saw she was kind of limping a bit, too. So at 3-0 down, I would get her out. Don't risk her health for the rest of the season.
Magnus fighting for the ball. And the Zephyrs will clear.
Yeah, she's struggling.
Now with it for Mahtomedi. That's number 21, Victoria Nelson. Mansell trying to make the play. Thankfully for her, it goes wide of the net. But I'm not sure she even touched it.
Nah, she didn't. She must have lost her bearings of where she was because she didn't need to lay out for that.
7:10 to go.
I applaud her effort.
A lot of Mahtomedi subs. Palava coming into the game for the Raiders here. Sanchez coming out. .650 to go. Wood on the near side. Back to Erickson, now back to Wood. Erickson trying to bring it up the field. Here goes Palava. Palava looking down the far side, looking for Hansen. Doesn't quite make it there. And now the Zephyrs have space. Moltzen trying to get down there, but Mansell will get underneath it again. 6:20 to go. There's Abby Palava fighting for the ball. And the Raiders will send it back toward the midfield. Back to the outside now from Mahtomedi. And will roll out of bounds to Coach Armstrong.
Looks like some more subs for both squads.
Yep, I see Autumn Burt coming on for the Raiders in place of Keegan McVicker. And number 3 from Mahtomedi, Poirier, coming off. Five and a half to play. Hansen at the midfield. Gets it to Autumn Burt. And Zephyrs try to go for a clear. Now with it was Alex Moore. Mahtomedi back in possession. Ingrid Linke with it. 5:10 to go here. Raiders and Zephyrs in this top 2 Metro East clash. Now right now is looking like it's going to end up giving Mahtomedi a 1-game lead over the Metro East. 4:50 on the clock. Throw in coming. Olschmidt running over to help. Or just getting into position, rather. Throwing in will be Presley Albers for the Zephyrs. Albers in on Mansell. Kind of kicked back out. I don't know if she intended to do that.
Yeah, I think
she went for the save and maybe slipped.
Yeah, it kind of looked like she was going to catch it, and then it was in front of her, and she kicked it. Don't think we're going to get the replay here because the free kick's coming up.
Yep, free kick. It will be Presley Albers again to take it here for Mahtomedi. Off the bar! Wow. That one went off the bar, maybe 10 feet or so over Mansell's head, maybe if that.
That was a good strike.
No, that was less than 10 feet. That was maybe 3 or 4 feet. As the clock runs under 4 minutes left in this one. And the Raiders are going to need really 3 goals in succession. With 3:40 to go in this contest, they're basically going to need to score a goal a minute. And Mansell with another big save. Mahtomedi in front, another look, and it just goes wide. And now the Zephyrs, Rippentrop, who's got 2 of the 3 Mahtomedi goals. Maltson has the other. Magnus, back to Mansell. .308 to go. Raiders with 1 shot in each half so far. And I'm sure they'll look at that and try to figure out the best way to fix that in their next game, which will be Thursday against Tartan.
Quicker passes is what I would say to start. Sit with the ball too long, and in soccer, it's going to get taken away from you.
2.5 to go. Oldschmidt now back out to Elbers. There's an Elbers and an Albers on this Mahtomedi team. Kind of like how Hastings football. Oh, that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't know. Mansell tried to stop it with her leg. I'm not sure why she didn't use her hands. But
Number 23 for Mahtomedi. Again, sadly not a number we have. So we want to make sure we get that for you when we get it. But she put it in the back of the net here. And the Zephyrs have a 4-0 advantage with 2:24 to go. Now back to the near side is Wood. Now Endress to Palava in the middle of the field. Palava looking just past Hansen on the far side. 2:07 to go. Here's a replay of the goal. Just weaving through traffic and kicks it back out, and Mansell tried to make a play on it, and it got past her. 1:53 to go. 19-2, the shots on goal.
Trey, unfortunately, they don't have their player stats on their website, so I can't tell you who number 23 is.
Well, we apologize if they have people watching or listening.
Text it in.
Yeah, let us know.
Not text it, but
1:30 to go. Mahtomedi on their way to a win here. Zephyrs, another shot. Mansell with the save. And that is 16 saves for Riley Mansell. 1:10 remaining in this contest. 4-0, Mahtomedi. Hastings trying to get something where to go. McVicker off to Hansen. One last gasp for the Raiders, and it's covered up by the goalkeeper for Mahtomedi. Jackie Worden has not had a busy night tonight, but she gets the save there. Endress in the middle of the field. Back to Palava. Palava looking for Erickson on the near side, and we may get a throw in, and that'll be it with 30 seconds. So Hastings, unfortunately, going to suffer their first conference loss of the year here as the clock runs under 20. Wood on the near side, fighting for the ball, taken away by the Zephyrs. It's Nelson on the near side. Nelson back to Rippentrop as Mansell comes out of the net and is still out of the net. Nobody's home for Mahtomedi defensively here. And a last-second block by Bree Balster keeps this a 4-0 result, and that will be the final score in tonight's game as the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, in this battle of first-place teams in the Metro East, get the 4-0 result over the Hastings Raiders here at Todd Field and McNamara Stadium. Teams go out there to shake hands. And producer-director Hunter Pinky, camera operators Max Slocum, Ian Andrzak, Tori Selner, graphics and replay Hunter Pinky. I'm Trey Lauer. He is Pete Heyman. For those watching on TV, thanks so much. For those watching on radio, we'll be right back.